Hey, this is Scott the Peaceful Shaver. So I wanted to talk today about my obsession and what's your obsession. If you're watching this video, you're either a very close relative of mine or you're obsessed with wet shaving like I am. We're all obsessed with wet shaving in this community. Otherwise, we wouldn't be going into the Facebook groups, watching YouTube videos, watching other guys shave. We have an obsession. And my guess is that for most of you, this hasn't been your only obsession in life. You must have had other obsessions either before or currently maybe some other obsession as well. I know I have a very obsessive personality. My lovely wife, Lynn, who is making this video, can attest to that.
Yep.
So I recognized early on in this community that some of the obsessions of the community members seem to be very similar. People who are into wet shaving also seem to be into fountain pens for some reason. Bourbons and whiskeys. Vaping, the younger guys seem to be into. Coffee seems to be a big one that kind of parallels wet shaving. I don't share all of those obsessions, but I am big into coffee and I do enjoy bourbon and whiskey and rye. My obsessions go back to when I was a child. I was huge into baseball. And not just watching every single game, but I had to score every single game. I had to make sure, and our son Steven, same thing. He used to score every single game when he was little.
Yep.
And I knew every statistic. I knew everybody's batting average. I knew the entire history. I basically memorized the baseball encyclopedia. I used to sit in my room and read the baseball encyclopedia and read statistics and read about guys like Pete One-Arm Gray and Eddie Goodell and Mo Berg and Harry Aganis. And these were guys that I obsessed over. And anybody who knows the history of baseball knows who those guys are. And they're not the big names like Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, but they're some obscure guys that were interesting and the people that I obsessed over. I collected baseball cards for a while, and I was pretty obsessive about it. I remember in the 70s, Wacky Packs. Guys that are my age will remember those. Lynn, you remember Wacky Packs?
Yep.
I had to have every single Wacky Pack. Coins for a while I was into. And I never lost interest in these things, but my severe obsession about them dwindled and it kind of moved on to something else. There's always been one thing that just really, really obsessive about. And the other stuff I had an interest in. But the way that I am for wet shaving right now, I was this way about politics a few years ago. I'm a libertarian, and I was huge into the history of libertarianism and about Ayn Rand and voluntarism, and I couldn't get enough of it and read everything that I possibly could about it. And while I'm still interested in that, wet shaving has been dominating my life, outside of my family, right, for the last several years, to where I'm watching and making YouTube videos about it. I've been into old time radio and antiquarian books. So it kind of runs the gamut. Music. Lynn will tell you I like music from the 1940s, 1950s, 60s. I'm very eclectic.
Yeah.
Old country. My interests are extremely varied. And I'm guessing there's a lot of guys in the community that are probably, and gals, that are probably a little bit like me, obsessive. So I'm gonna make this a tag video. I wanna know what's your obsession. What were you previously obsessed about the way you are today with wet shaving, or maybe currently you share another obsession. Maybe one of the ones I mentioned, maybe something completely off the wall. And I wanna tag Jason Rudman, I want to tag Jason Spiegelman, and from down under, my buddy Steve Hardy. And I want to know, what are your obsessions? And I want to get this ball rolling, and I want to see lots of videos on this. I want to do hashtag my other obsession. We'll do hashtag my other obsession. And let's see if we can get people all throughout the community telling us what your obsession is. So thanks for watching. Have a great night.